Welcome to Answers for Living. This week we're going to look at the book of Jude. Jude is written because false teachers have infiltrated the church. So Jude writes to warn the church, to expose the false teachers, and to tell the church how they should respond to those false teachers. And we're going to begin by looking at some of the things that never change. The gospel of Christ never changes. Jude verse 3 says, "Dear friends, although I was very eager to write to you about the salvation we share, I felt compelled to write and urge you to contend for the faith that was once for all delivered to God's holy people." The word delivered also means entrusted. So the gospel was entrusted once and for all. Once the apostles finished writing the scriptures, we had all that God was going to say to the entire church. That means that there's no new revelation, there's no new gospel. Galatians chapter 1, verse 6 to 9 tells us, "If anyone is preaching to you a gospel other than one you accepted, let them be under God's curse." Now Jude doesn't stop there. He also says that this gospel's worth fighting for, that we are to contend for the core of the gospel. Never give a platform in the church to anyone who comes with another gospel. If I know a pastor personally who is preaching another gospel, I will go and sit down with them and confront them. Now, Jude is speaking about people who call themselves Christians and are part of the church in the Christian community. I don't need to contend with the Hindus or the Muslims or the Hare Krishnas because they don't call themselves Christians. But those who call themselves followers of Jesus Christ but preach another gospel, we are to deal with them. They must not be allowed to teach a Bible study or teach a Sunday school class or preach in our pulpits because they have another gospel. And teaching, that type of teaching, will lead people away from the truth. Now, we're warned in Romans chapter 14 and 15 that we're not to judge one another. But we're not to judge their traditions or their methods or their preferences. We're to stop doing that kind of judging. But we are warned about so-called Christians who are in the church that have a different gospel. So the question is, what is a false gospel? Tomorrow, we'll answer that question.